After the first day and a half, we hadn't found much success. It was then that young Samuel was permanently removed. After an ambush, we decided to change our tactics so we may better deal with the problem. It was then through Sonia's efforts, we contacted the bugbear, and they, in exchange for removing another threat, gave their
support?
Combined forces to help us stop the Scorn.
Shall I nod to that?
How is Samuel doing?
Marco just gives you a blank look and just flicks his pen over at Charlotte. As far as I am aware, he's in the medical ward still.
He's tougher than he looks.
I hate the morgue,
I'm
so
sure
it sounds
he
like it's
will.
going good.
He's not dead, if that is what you're concerned with.
But it is as Rajin says. An army of sheep led by a lion will kill an army of lions led by a sheep.
Charlotte, wait, sound effects. Hold on a second. Charlotte, stacks up her papers. Normally, I would be expedient in finding this away, but I feel like this requires some officer directive.
If
Please
I might
wait
say
here.
one more thing.
Yes?
It is my sincere belief that these bugbears can become a forward vanguard with the right encouragement. It could save the lives of many scouts and foreseers. Who knows? Perhaps with greater things could be achieved still. A common enemy is a useful step toward the unity. An understanding, at the very least, could be made.
Charlotte's expression doesn't change when you say this. Straight face. That is not for us to decide.
Well, there's also one more matter.
Yes?
The same resilience that the Scorn can have. We found a similar trait in the leader of the Nose.
You guys tell that it came back to life, or something like that.
Not only that, it did so in a retaliatory fashion.
Not sure how much I would attribute that to Scornkin. Those are evil, ugly bastards. Might be something like that.
But even so, with its jaw removed and head severed, it still persisted.
You do not have possession of the head currently, yes?
No, we do not.
That is a shame. I'm sure Darren would have liked to see it. Ha! He's up to his fucking neck and work already. No point adding a head now. Ha ha. Lycon. Ha ha. If there's nothing else, I'll be right back.
And Rustin would just look over and be like,
It is better that we did not bring that evil into town.
Archon holds up two hands. Depends who you're asking. Sometimes evil things enter town all the time.
Not evil hyenas.
Fair enough. He looks around, and goes over the door and just does a quick jiggle this on the knob. Good.
Did you know they eat even the bones? Leave nothing.
I didn't know that. Not that I particularly give a damn. go out fighting no hyenas or anything like that. I'm just a simple scribe. A scribe which has a very peculiar friend, by the way. He sits back down in his writing space. One that might not be entirely legal, but one that's very effective. And one that very much wants to talk to all of you. If you guys would be interested.
What does your friend do? Typically your friends have a profession.
He's an acquisition agent. That's the best way I can describe it. Nothing bad, he doesn't kill people, as far as I'm aware at least.
What, does he shake them down for money?
No, that's...
No. He's more like a acquisition specialist then, we'll put it like that.
So it's a nice way to say smuggle.
Some people might call him that.
Most people might call him that.
A what?
A smuggler.
Okay.
So why is he interested in us?
I will
The thing is,
talk
he
to
doesn't
this man.
smuggle mere contraband things. It's not like he smuggles in like fancy spice or just drugs or anything like that. Although he does look at Russian. I guess you guys already have something for that. No, he is more... His expertise falls under more magical equipment, if you catch my drift.
Oh.
And he himself is interested in intriguing items. You'll have to talk to him more about it. I personally can never figure out exactly what it is he wants, but I guess that's the point.
Did he mention when he would be headed our direction?
He's outside right now.
Okay.
Out in the Smithy's yard. Come pop in. Say hi to him. Talk to him about it. Or don't. He's had no shows before.
Well, the information's
The
valuable.
conversation is owed on my behalf. I will go.
Well, hold on. Don't go just yet. And he just flicks his finger over at the door, which immediately enters back in. Charlotte, followed by Lena, who is, contrary to how you see her in during other conference meetings, as well as her meeting with Desmond way back. Not way back. That was like just literally 4 days ago. She's in like entirely dressed in like battle gear, and following behind her is Ian, similarly dressed in combat gear. You notice that in Landa's hands is the report written by Charlotte. Commander, welcome. We were just talking. Landa just like taps him on the top of the head with the papers. Right. I have questions, and she just drops the stack of papers on the desk.
Ask and I will answer.
These are questions for the group, not just for you.
Where do you want to start?
Where to start?
Typically the beginning.
If only it were so easy to identify the beginning. I'm sure all of you have some idea of how Bugbear tendency is when it comes to acting around civilized lands.
Yes.
Then I hope you realize that leaving it by or around, or both, raises some concerns on my end.
Well, I don't think that's a bad thing. We have many enemies.
We do, which is why I'm not particularly pleased to hear that there's another potential one right next door. Especially when we're going to have roads being built around or through the place.
How many people number Andrus Weaver's Bay?
She shrugs. I have no clue, Charlotte. 700,000, I would say.
Then I would say you outnumber them 10 or more to 1.
The question there is how many of them are combat effective?
Not many of them.
Precisely.
And especially when that several 100,000 isn't meant to stay in Weaver's Bay. We don't have the capabilities of keeping this many people for so long, which is why Royal Governor Silverick is pushing for expansion efforts quickly. Expansion efforts which put us right through your bugbear tribe's territory.
Then it's the perfect time to come to an accord.
She gives you like a flat look. I don't particularly trust bugbears to keep their word. Not for long, at least. I trust you for now. What happens in a week, a month, a year, a few years? If I remember correctly, goblinoid hierarchies are very volatile, either through their own efforts or through the efforts of outside forces. When one leader dies, some rivalry happens for the next result. So, what about that result? Are they going to be as friendly? As negotiable? Assuming that this one you're discussing even is?
That's what all the Neville's tribes were battling, were boring. And then some became like you and decided the others still needed to keep with the war. Weren't we all at that point in one way or another?
Yes, but humans have a different capacity, last I checked.
How many bugbears have you known?
Only the ones I've killed. And I didn't particularly stop to ask them questions. And
Perhaps
neither
it
did
is
they, might I add. Neither did they.
These ones stop to ask us questions.
I think that their apprehension is reasonable, Rajin. However, this may be a simple matter of wants. You can predict with relative ease the wants of a bugbear. Not so with a human. If we can align their wants with our goals, I believe they can be used at the very least. That forest is not so simple. Even without Skornken and Knolls, there will be, as you have undoubtedly read in the report, problematic areas. The bugbears could be a valuable source of information and manpower, lives that we would not necessarily want to waste. Human lives could be spared.
Up until they backstab us. Or we send a caravan through, and then they kill the caravan, take the supplies, and technically backstab us.
There's no guarantee that that'll happen.
There's no guarantee what you're saying is happening either.
Then perhaps giving them a probationary, very short time to prove themselves could be considered.
My concern still remains expeditionary.
Unusual time for unusual measures.
I can guarantee that they won't be a problem. And you know exactly how I would solve that. You're offering me a chance at something good, at something decent. I can confirm it myself, with my own hands, if I wanted to.
You know this land better than I. You have been here longer than I. In my eyes, it is a strange place with strange creatures. Perhaps strange methods are needed to solve strange problems.
Roll a persuasion check. Only one of you, though.
I guess I'll do it.
If you wish.
I only have a +1, and I'm also not terribly in the conversation anyways.
She whispers something over to Ian.
If they should turn, I will be the first one to lend you my sword. I will stab them down myself.
She whispers. She's continuing to whisper to Ian. And he finally just shrugs and just does like a rolling hand motion. And he holds up one finger to her. Commander, I think we speak for everyone here that we want what's best for the colony, but we have other things to worry about, other things to spend resources on, manpower, stuff like that. As Roshan pointed out, we could just crush them immediately, but why waste our time when it's not necessary? Besides, I think they'll be fine.
Flexing our muscles, as it were, would go a long way.
A probationary period, then. Although I want it on record that I don't want this habit continuing. We're colonials. We aren't looking for allies. We're trying to take the land. If we wanted allies, we go talk to the other colonies. Notice how we haven't yet. Am I understood, expeditionaries?
You are understood.
Nods.
Nods.
She looks at Roshan. Am I understood? And before O's muted.
I am. I cannot predict the future. That is a Minis's gift.
I do want to ask one thing.
What is it?
How would you have handled that situation if you were in our shoes? What would you have done?
I would have killed them all. Burned down every tree if I had to.
Foolish.
You'll notice that bugbears tend to be pretty greedy and pretty easy to trick. They think themselves as dominating predatory creatures, ones that excel at ambushing. They very seldom consider that they can get out-ambushed themselves. Their greed is their downfall.
Noted.
Well, in that regard, if I can put your mind at some ease, instead of ambushing us, they engaged us in dialogue. And instead of greed, they gave spoils from scorn kin to us.
Which is another point I want to discuss. I believe the reason they didn't attack you is because you had your presence. Something which is standing outside the Expeditionary HQ right now. The troll.
Atker is his name?
The troll is what he is, just like the same way I'm human.
I believe people would have a lot of names for you. But what of Atker?
Again, I think a predominant reason they didn't attack you is because you have such a peculiar companion with you. Lena's heard worse. Lena doesn't give a shit.
Obviously,
If it's not literally killing her at the moment. And even then, she barely cares if it is killing her. Stormtrooper. I'm sure you realize that there's a lot of questions and security and safety concerns about having a troll in town.
I'm sure there are a lot of questions and concerns about having a fairy in town. Or a eccentric poisoner.
The poisoner. It may be eccentric, but I can confirm his loyalty.
Or the guy who blows up a building every week.
Abe is a literal anomaly, and I don't think any force in the entire universe can account for it. And we just so happen to get plagued with it. If I could send Abe, or direct him, or convince him to go anywhere else, I would. But you'll note that he's still here. As for the fairy, I have plenty of solutions for Costellos. And she says, is looking at Abigail, and she sort of just withers under it.
A thought has occurred to me, if I may.
She just holds up a hand, gesturing to continue.
A lot of us second waivers, expeditionaries, are proving to be restless, yes.
Not so much anymore, isn't that right, Ian? And Ian just sort of like stands up straight. Unfortunately. What's your point?
Well, if the troll needs to understand how things are done around here, and the restless second waivers need to be taught a lesson or two, perhaps you could kill 2 birds with 1 troll.
I don't care about you second waivers being restless. I just send you on the field.
My intent was to make things calmer for the city.
Oh, it's plenty calm now, and you'll see this when you go see your friend in the medical ward. You'll note that a lot of second waivers are so enthusiastic about going back in the world.
Did the water expedition not go well?
And then behind her, Ian just shakes his head, slowly. Looking down, cast.
I'm sorry to hear that.
All the eagerness in the world is no replacement for skill and competence.
Or maybe a troll.
Or strategic alliances.
Yes, that's good.
Or a deadened heart that feels very little.
If you guys want to get shipped out right now back over to the waterfront, I'll happily let you. I vote no on that. Abigail holds up her hand. Wait, no, Abigail's not here. She's outside. I'm drunk.
See,
Long
he's out there with
range.
Wise, I think.
Long range, Abigail sneezes.
Hit that Goku
Just like a-
transmission.
Just like a little paper airplane comes flying in, pass.
Well, I think in honor of the Saints' Day, a chance for redemption would be good.
She squints at you.
Big stupid smile.
She looks over at Varric. And you guys see out of the corner of your eye, Varric does like a holy, like how like someone does like the
The Hail Mary.
holy cross thing. And it was like
Yeah.
top, down, left, right, and he just does that. Except like in Alicia's thing, which is like basically the heart that turns into a teardrop. He just sort of does that.
Gods be what?
You always were a kept-landed kid, Varric. Very well. But if he acts up, I expect you guys to deal with him.
Understood.
You can trust us.
Also understand that every ally, she does in quotation marks, you bring in, if they betray us, it's getting noted. Bring in 2 may betraying allies, and I will officially, personally, put you in a traitor status.
Of course.
Good. To which Charlotte hands her a form, like right there. And then it just takes it without even looking. I have no more questions for the time being. Enjoy the Saints' Day tomorrow. Get some rest. Because if the waterfront is any indication, there are plenty more things to be done.
That always is. Thank you for your time.
I apologize if we have added much to your headache.
She just gives you like a dead glare. Also keep in mind, as a word of a friend, I have more people to report to as well. And if the Royal Guard decides that this town is becoming a bit too unstable, we all get abandoned out here.
Well, thanks for placing your trust in us.
Well, that would be very unfortunate should that happen.
We all get abandoned, and I'm 100% certain that as nice as Desmond is, he has insurance policies in this town to make sure that we don't turn to another side. I don't know what they are, and I don't care about finding out, because I intend to stay loyal. I hope that is reflected upon all of you. She leaves.
Oh, just one thing.
Her hands on the door grip. Yes?
I apologize for my brashness about Abigail coming with us. As you may now know, it was a decree from the gods themselves.
What?
That's for her to say. I said to her.
She just hands down the door, looks up at the sky. If the gods are listening, let them know I don't have time for this shit. She opens the door and leaves.
Whew.
Oh, you found the one thing that makes them worse.
Marco is like, oh, he's like tucking a blade back under his sleeve. Whew! I thought I was gonna have to get out of here quick. Woo! You guys really like kicking up a horror's nest, huh?
I mean, I thought that went surprisingly well.
I mean, we're all still alive, so I think that went pretty.
It's an acceptable.
It is what it is.
You know, you can't get honey without making some bees mad.
Well, you can
I'm pretty sure.
Bees and then they're pretty
I don't know about that.
honey.
That's the druids. I don't know.
Is Charlotte still in the room?
Charlotte and Ian are still here.
Excuse me, Charlotte. Did Sonia give you the map I made?
She shakes her head. I haven't had time to report to Sonia yet. Sonia's not here with you guys. Sonia gets her own separate report.
Yeah. There were some amendments I made very recently to it. It should prove is the word I'm looking for. It should prove useful.
I'll be sure to inquire with her about it.
It is
Just-
of the valley.
If you remember the details, you can just tell them. Try to add them to any legend or anything on the map.
Information.
Alright. And speaking of Sonia, I should get the report from her as well. I bid you all good day. Pleasure seeing you as always, Charlotte. Pleasure seeing you as always. Ian holds open the door for her and she leaves. Closes the door. I hope you'll excuse Lena's weariness.
Her bloodthirst?
Mm.
We all have bloodthirst here. We're first waivers. Anyone that's left alive after the Night of Tempest has some bloodthirst in them, I'm confident in saying. But no. I'm unfortunately not kidding. Waterfront is not going well.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being we're being attacked by an army.
We're assaulting armies.
Hmm.
Armies?
Indeed.
Of what?
The undersea natives, you might call them. Tritons.
Oh.
Tritons. Other creatures that they utilize, other beasts. We were expecting that, to be perfectly honest, but there's something else going on, I just don't know what. That's a first. What was that supposed to mean? Always figured you expeditionary crew had everything sorted at some point. You can tell that to the gravestones. Marco, you can tell it to the gravestones. Okay, maybe not.
Did we steal an Elfir or something?
Ian tilts his head. He doesn't get it.
Eh?
You have never heard?
I'm afraid I've lost touch with the world in some places.
Strangest thing. I've traveled a lot, and in many places I've heard of this sailor, I believe half-elf. He lost his ear at sea. I've heard many different tales.
Are you bringing up your fucking character? Sorry.
Oh god.
Bring up other characters of one character, genius.
Jesus.
I'm not a sailor, so I wouldn't know of any such person.
Word is, he lost it in a wrestling match with the Kraken.
If there was a Kraken, I think me and Leno would have personally already gone to kill it, along with everyone else.
I mean, fucking
So
Did you hear the story from Peter? This sounds like a story Peter would tell.
It does sound like a story Peter would tell.
I mean, he was trying to add Krakens to whatever we were doing, so. Which I don't think with this story he's gonna have to add much of anything, because Christ.
Ian gets a weird smile on his face. You guys should go stop by the Bard's College. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear this story you just told me.
I'm sure we will run into him. As with any bard.
No, I'm afraid not. Not today, at least. They're setting up the college theater right now.
Hey.
And there's only 4 of them, so they're quite busy. Capable as they are.
How's it considered a college if there's only 4 people?
They decree it as such, and get official decorations.
Fair enough.
And after the Night of Tempest, well, proved themselves enough. Desmond said yes. That's all there is to it.
Everyone starts somewhere.
To be fair, though, none of them are particularly suited for teaching, so perhaps that's why their numbers remain at 4.
Are you doing anything today, Ian?
You raise an eyebrow at this? No. Why do you ask?
Just curious about something.
That sounds immensely suspicious. Yeah, that's what it does.
Yes, it does. Russian, does the eyebrow waving.
I know it sounds immensely suspicious, I'm just curious. Oh, jeez, hold on.
I did not know Ian was your type, Sandra.
Aye, Christ on a bake.
Ain't no Christ here.
What would be the equivalent of that phrase? You know what, it's irrelevant.
Any saint?
Any saint on a bike. Do bikes exist? This is irrelevant.
Of course bikes exist.
I don't know how old in the... Bleh. No, I
There we have guns. I think that tells you all you need to know.
I just had questions or revelations that I wanted to talk to you about, and now seems like a decent enough time as any.
He squints at you. That sounds
Immensely suspicious.
very, very suspicious.
I'm trying not to, but it's kind of my natural disposition.
Don't worry, mate. I got your back. Marcon pulls a dagger out of his sleeve.
Honestly, wait, were you saying that to him or to me?
You said that to Ian.
Okay.
Marcon doesn't fucking give a shit about you.
I just like.
He's the first waiver. You're a second waiver. You don't care about you. That's both. Thank you, Marcon. Thank you. You're welcome.
Debating level of suspicion. My brain. Ver, could you go get Abigail real quick?
He gives you a look now too. Okay, now this is just getting way too much.
No, it's just a conversation.
Wait.
Christ, what? Am I seriously that suspicious, everyone? I just want to have a
I
conversation.
think
That was Christ.
Shut up.
I'm gonna keep bringing it up until you work it out of your system. If I don't comment on it, you'll never get it.
I just can't remember the rest of the saints besides Leon.
I could go.
I think Leon's faster to say than Christ.
Yeah.
It is probably best Attica is not left alone. I
I think.
can go
Why is this out there? Isn't
get
it?
Abigail.
What is this out there? Yeah. I'm not sure if it's. God fucking damn it! I'm not sure if it's smart to leave the two of them alone, though.
Prudent.
That
That's
is
actually
a
a very
very
good point.
good point.
She's the one that was interested in the situation. I just want her to be involved.
Why don't I believe you?
I'm actually telling the truth for once. Which
No,
surprises
I do
because I'm
not
constantly
believe
lying
you.
through my teeth.
Bear gets up, grabs his rifle.
If you want reliable drinking water, Sandra, dig in one place for a well, not all over the place.
Bear leaves. Marcon begins twiddling a dagger between his fingers. Now this is getting interesting. A couple minutes pass and Varric returns back, Abigail in tow. So she peeks in. Lena's not here, right? Okay, good. You want to talk? Oh, hi, Ian. He does a wave. Up we go.
Garth is debating if he wants to ask Marcon to leave, but at that point, that's like exceptionally suspicious, so it's like, I'm just gonna let him stay. And also, he probably wouldn't leave anyways.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
He has more clout here than you do, so.
Yeah, I know.